Today I thought I'd give you all a tour of my last sketchbook. It's my 6th sketchbook so far, as you can see on the cover. Just a preface, this sketchbook started as being for my drawing class, but once I finished that class, I started drawing what I wanted to draw. You could probably notice the difference once you see it. Without further ado, let's get into it. This first page had my first assignment to draw an eye. I also added the owl sketches in my free time, which I was really happy with. Here I drew more owls and a few studies of hands and feet. During this time, I was going through art block, so the drawings on the bottom right were just me trying to get ideas, but they didn't turn out that good. On the top left was my next assignment, which was to illustrate something with words in it. Then the words all starting with G at the bottom was me trying to come up with a phrase for my other assignment, which was to make an illustration that depicted a phrase made with words all starting from the same letter, and mine was G. This was my planning for that assignment. I came up with a golden goldfish giving a gift. I tried to make another character, but it didn't work out. Then I came up with a guarded guppy as a king, and went with that. The goldfish is named Tuppy, and he looks really funny. These pages were just a few doodles I made. Once again, I was struggling with art block. Okay, so here's the story. I was feeling really moody but motivated one night, so I stippled an entire page. It took me hours to finish, but I think it was a fun project. I like looking at all the individual little dots across the page. Here on the left was my planning for a scratch board. It's like a woman in a cocoon. Then on the right are some sketches from during a field trip. Here's a few studies of figures. I had recently discovered Olympic figure skating, so there were a few of my favorite competitors. Here I tried to analyze different styles I liked, and I tried to draw a cartoon version of myself. Because I was struggling with art block, I took suggested prompts from my friends, as well as drawing Kermit because of a video I had watched. Then on the right page are some gouache paintings. This was from when I came up with a character who has fire powers and was on the run from authorities with another man. I was trying to figure out how to draw the face well. Then I took another prompt from my friends, which was to draw 2 of our teachers in a battle with each other. I really like the drawing I made of my family's shed. It looks very cohesive to me. Here I was trying to develop the clothes that my character would wear. And then on the bottom right corner is the start of a different character I made. She's like some sort of cursed owl lady. She lives in the woods and haunts anyone who comes near, but she's more curious than dangerous. Then I had the idea of imagining my friends as animal characters, sort of like Animal Crossing, but not. At the time I thought it was fun, but now I think it's just kind of weird. These were a few drawings of myself, but in a cartoon style. I colored them with markers, but I only have a few, so I couldn't get a skin color that wasn't so orange. I also tried drawing a spider sona, but I didn't really have any ideas for that. On the left is one of my friends. I was drawing from a couple of messed up panorama photos. That's why he looks so distorted. The drawing of the fist on fire is something I did late at night. I think I was in a bad headspace back then, so I was trying to get my feelings out on paper. That page ended up being a lot unlike my usual art. Then the painting on the right was for an assignment in class, but I didn't finish it. It's a real shame because I think it could have been the best thing in this sketchbook. Then I did some drawings of a friend of mine and a teacher I know. On the right, I tried to randomly come up with a character, but I didn't like it. It looks somewhat like my brother, which is something a lot of my drawings end up like. It's like a curse. Then I sketched a couple birds, which I really liked. Here I copied a reference to how wings are structured. Then I drew more birds and sketches of my friends. This page was from last summer. I decided to press some daisies and tape them into my sketchbook, which was something I had never done before. Then I drew my cat and a random cat from Pinterest. I also tried to put a dream I had on paper, and finally I drew that man's face without reference, which is one of the reasons he ended up looking kind of creepy. On this page I combined an owl with a fox, and then I drew a mountain lion. I turned these into digital pieces that you can see the final version of on my Instagram. I had rewatched Full Metal Alchemist again, which made me want to draw Ed's automail arm. Then I tried to design my own version, but they didn't look nearly as good. However, the show did inspire me to come up with my own character that has a robotic arm. I ended up going with the name Mason Steele. His story is that he illegally got his prosthetic arm after losing his arm in an accident. He participates in gang fights in the city he lives in. After one fight, he ended up getting caught by the police and let off with a warning. After that, I didn't really develop any more of this story. Here I drew more owls, but they ended up looking kind of ugly because of my lack of different colors. Then I made some fan art of the game Sky, Children of the Light. It's a good game. On the right was me testing out different ways of coloring with markers and pastels. On the next page is when I tested out a process of coloring that I think I found from a Matthew Sorgi video. The page ended up being a massive brain dump after that, mostly consisting of Rocket League fan art. Then I did a couple doodles of myself in a somewhat rubber hose style, and a gouache painting of a whale shark. Next I painted some hydrothermal vents. I like how alien the landscape ended up looking. Here's some sketches of more friends of mine being silly. I also was testing out a new brush pen I got. Then I tried out a YouTuber named Tomatka's style, since I really liked it. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. But here's more of them. Just trying it out on various characters. Here I tried drawing a character from an edit that one of my friends made to Romeo and Juliet, where Romeo had been renamed Rue. However, I ended up taking the design and making it my own character, which I thought about naming Grayson, but never really finalized that. Then I wrote some notes on my physics class. I took that character and tweaked how I drew him a bit. I used that character to vent about my life and how I felt stuck in an endless loop at the time. I used him to depict things that were happening in my life. Then November came along, and I felt like doing a monthly challenge, so I printed out one that I found online and glued it in. I didn't make it all the way through the month, though. I think these two were probably the best I did from that challenge. I had no idea what to draw for the prompt stencil, but I really like how silly the doodle I came up with is. These are the last two drawings from the challenge. You can tell I was lacking in motivation. I only ended up lasting 10 days. These drawings were inspired by a previous sketch I made when I was younger. I had drawn a dog that looked so creepy that I ended up ripping the page out of the sketchbook it was drawn in and throwing it out. I still regret getting rid of it. Here I did a little bit of storyboarding for a scene I had in my head. Then I just sketched a little bit of random stuff. This was me trying various ways of sketching another character, but I don't remember anything about him. These few pages were storyboards of the beginning of a Minecraft adventure map that I was working on with friends. It's still nowhere near being done, but I think it's really fun. I also tried making a hybrid of a bat and some sort of jumping mouse. After reading some of the Attack on Titan manga, I tried emulating the style. I applied it to that previous character I had made that had fire powers and was on the run. I gave him a scar that he got during a raid on his town. I tried developing a weapon he could carry that was a mix between brass knuckles and a pocket knife. Then I tried using my brush pen instead of using a ballpoint pen. I'll admit that I copied a lot of drawings from Attack on Titan. It was in an effort to understand how the style looked. I ended up changing his story so that he was forcefully enlisted into the military by the government of his country and used as a human weapon. They would have him rain fire on cities from a plane overhead. He ended up leaving because he felt how wrong it was to be killing so many people, and he went on to fight against that government. Then I drew a soldier and a plane to keep in with that theme. Finally, I made it to the end of the sketchbook, so I wrote an end page with that character saluting. It's a bit cringy, but I still like it. Thank you all so much for watching my sketchbook tour. I hope you liked it. If you feel like seeing more content like this in the future, feel free to like or subscribe to let me know, but you don't have to. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Bye!